Hi, I'm Elly. Today I'm going to read you a story called A Fishy Mystery. Are you ready to listen? Okay, I'm going to read you the story. A Fishy Mystery. It was a dark and stormy morning, the day the fish disappeared. I skipped into my classroom and dropped my backpack. Guess what I have? I said. Austin and Zoe looked up. One of your birthday presents, said Austin. A Sophia Sharp mystery, said Zoe. Austin and Zoe were my best friends. They knew me pretty well. They also knew how to ruin a surprise. How'd you guess? I said. Austin shrugged. It's the only thing you ever ask for, Thea. He had a point. I loved reading Sophia Sharp mysteries. Sophia was smart. She was brave with help from her two best friends. She always cracked the case. I know I could be a detective like Sophia. I just needed a case to solve. We got you a present too, Austin said, only it's not a book. I think you'll like it anyway, said Zoe. Really? I said, what is it? But before they could answer, the bell rang. Good morning, said Mrs. Cooper. Mrs. Cooper was a good teacher. When she got going on math, even Rocky, our class goldfish, paid attention. Hold on to your hats, she said. We're going to learn about outside thunder rumble, Vandigrams. Now, who has a dog? On the board, Mrs. Cooper wrote the names of everyone who had a dog. Then she wrote down everyone who had a cat. Some kids have both. She drew a rectangle inside that. She drew two circles and overlapped. In our class, we have a set of dog owners. She wrote the dog owners in one circle, and a set of cat owners. She wrote the cat owners in the other circle. In the middle, the sets overlap. She wrote the dog and cat owners in the middle. A girl named Charlotte waved her hand. What if I don't have a pet? Terrific question, said Mrs. Cooper. If you're not in a set, you're still part of the diagram. She wrote Charlotte's name in the rectangle outside both circles. Charlotte nodded, but I could tell she didn't like being stuck in the rectangles. Mrs. Cooper turned us loose to make our own Venn diagrams. Austin took to his like a dog takes a T-bone steak. Zoe dove into hers too. I stared at mine. Then I had a brilliant idea. I started writing. When I finished, I started my diagram. In the middle, where the circles overlapped, was one word, girl. I blinked. What was it? That was all I had in common with Sophia Sharp. You forgot something, Austin scribbled in the middle section. Sophia has two best friends, and so do you. As I gave him a first bump, thunder rumbled and lightning flashed, the lights flickered, the room went black. Giggles filled the dark. We were used to this. At Larkspur Elementary, the lights went out every time it stormed. Then I heard something new, footsteps and a clank. I always carried an emergency case cracking kit. I pulled out my flashlight as I flicked it on. As I flicked it on, I saw a shape dart through the darkness. Lightning flashed again, and the lights buzzed out. Everyone giggled in relief. Then I heard a gasp. I looked up. Zoe was pointing to the bookshelf where Rocky's fish bowl always sat. The shelf was empty. Oh no! Where's Rocky? The room interrupted in chatter. Mrs. Cooper tried to calm everyone down. We searched the classroom, but Rocky was gone. I opened my kit. Well, then Rocky, then their class fish. Then the fish has gone. I opened my kit. We have to solve this. I told Austin and Zoe. Rocky needs us. She dusted the scene for prints, but too many jumbled fingerprints covered the room. Our custodians at a floor polishing convention, Mrs. Cooper told us. He hasn't been here to clean. We found water spilled on the bookshelf. Austin sniffed it. Smells fishy, he said. We collect evidence from Rocky's bookshelf, a rubber band, some fish food flakes, and a chewed up pencil. But I didn't think any of it would lead to Rocky, but we bagged it anyway. I recorded all my clues in Detective Notebook. After through investigation, I said, Rocky isn't here and nobody left the room. Maybe the culprit came to the hallway. At recess, we questioned kids in the classroom. Did any students leave their rooms? Any teachers? The principal? But nobody had been lurking down, and I flipped my pages of clues. I had to find the answer. There was a missing fish out there, and he needed me. I know, slapped my forehead. Mr. Olson, our custodian, said Austin, but he's nice. He's so nice, and he loves Rocky. I nodded. Exactly. He loves Rocky, and he's always in the halls. What if he wanted Rocky for himself? I climbed up on a bench so everyone could hear me. I've cracked the case, I announced. The fish thief is Thea? Zoe shook my arm. As Tim pointed to a page in the notebook, Mr. Olson was at a floor polishing convention. I stared at the page. I couldn't believe it. Mr. Olson's alibi was right here in all those pages of evidence, and I'd missed it. I slumped into my bench. I wasn't like Sophia Sharp. I couldn't even keep my clues straight. I'd never be a detective. Somebody squeezed my shoulder. I looked up. You know, said Mrs. Cooper, Venn diagrams aren't just for maths. They can solve real problems too, even mysteries. I thought about this. She was right. My clues needed to be organized. Thanks, Mrs. G, I said when the whistle blew. I marched back outside. Sophia Sharp says a culprit needs two things to commit a crime, a chance to do it and a reason to do it. I drew two circles. In one circle, I wrote down everyone who sat close enough to the fishbowl to grab it while the lights were out. In the other circle, I wrote down anyone who had a reason to take Rocky. I knew the middle, where the circles overlapped, would give me the answers, but the middle was empty. Charlotte wanted a pet, but she didn't sit near Rocky. Mr. Olson was out of town. Who else had a reason? Us and Zoe set the closet. But they wouldn't take a fish unless I stared at my two best friends. A smile peered out of my face. It was you, I said. You sit closer to the fishbowl. You said you had a gift for me, and all I ever ask for is a mystery, said Austin. And you solved it, Zoe grinned. Happy birthday. I sat back in my chair and letting the wonderful and sink in. I did solve it. I solved the real mystery just like Sophia Sharp. Except, where's Rocky? I said. Mrs. Cooper unlocked her filing cabinet and with a flourish lifted her fishbowl. Rocky swam happily inside. You can't pull a caper in my classroom without me, she said. Austin nodded. Mrs. Cooper was in on it. She wanted us to get excited and Venn diagrams. I was excited. I was so excited. I started drawing circles this time. We have another case to crack. I said, I have a birthday party coming up, and we need to track down the perfect cake. Perfect cake. What best flavor? And what do you like the cake flavor best? Well, I think chocolate's delicious too. And today and the phone and the camera was we're so close. I never do like this far, but today I really do almost like this. Almost this. Okay, this is the end of the story called A Fishy Mystery. Okay, now we'll read this book. Oh, and I love some kind of mysteries too. Well, sometimes they're fun. Okay, and thank you for listening to my story. Bye.